Another day and another controversy. This time it comes from Snow White star Rachel Zegler. Most are likely aware of who Rachel Zegler is. She first grabbed mainstream attention when it was announced that she would play Snow White in the upcoming live-action movie. While she was already well known before this as an established actress, this news catapulted her to new heights. Over the last couple of years, a lot has been made over Disney and its live-action remakes. In 2016, live-action remakes were at an all-time high when Disney released The Jungle Book. They got even more reassurance when Lion King made almost $2 billion. Sadly, this success was never going to last. Disney knew it had a cash cow and decided to milk it for all it was worth. Why risk creating new IPs when you can cash in on existing ones? Thus, the age of live-action remakes started. When Disney decided to do the classic race swap, the controversy began to pop up. If you are still getting familiar with this, let me explain. You take an iconic series or movie and replace the lead character's race. This is something that Hollywood has been doing for decades. I am not blinded by the fact that race swapping happens in all directions. White Light Yagami, I am looking at you, but Disney is taking things to an entirely new level. They are trying to get a reaction out of people, which is working. The question is, how long before fans turn away and stop watching? Many argue that it is already happening. Let's examine Rachel Zegler and why so many are upset with the upcoming Snow White movie. Zegler is of Colombian descent. Thus, many believe she was not the correct casting choice for Snow White. However, more than the lead casting choice has people talking. The Seven Dwarfs have been a hot topic of discussion as well. For starters, there are only 6 now, and they are not dwarfs. In Disney's quest for inclusion, they ended up excluding little people from being cast. This would have been an excellent opportunity to provide work for little people who are already struggling, but Disney decided against it. The drama, however, continued this week when Rachel Zegler proceeded to call Prince Charming a stalker. This, of course, is a crazy statement to make, considering the role he played. Saving someone from a deadly curse that cannot be broken without his help is not what I would think of as a stalker. It is understandable if you want to allow Snow White to have her moment, but you do not have to do it at the expense of another beloved character. Prince Charming on any day is just as famous and essential to the story as Snow White. Strangely, he is being viewed in such a negative light by the lead actress. She also said that although this remake might have a love interest, it won't dominate the movie as it did previously. Once again, this feels like a mischaracterization of the original film. That movie was about an evil queen who could not handle the fact that there was someone more beautiful than her in the kingdom. She then casts a horrible curse on Snow White, leaving her in a deep trance. The story of Snow White is iconic for a reason. The fact that all she took from it was Prince Charming stalking says a lot about her. The Snow White story involves jealousy, wickedness, love, and the friendships and bonds she forms with the 7 dwarfs who help her along the way. It is an excellent story with many lessons, none involving stalking. I do understand the argument that she is trying to make, but it does not work within this tale. Zegler wants to argue that Snow White is a strong independent woman who needs no man. Snow White does not need to be a damsel in distress for this movie to work. She can be strong and independent, but the curse from the witch falls flat without Prince Charming. Our prince will likely not receive a favorable portrayal in the upcoming film. I am unsure how the curse will be broken, but it won't be due to a kiss. It is a small detail that still shapes much of the story. Without that scene, seeing what direction this movie takes will be interesting. If I had to guess, I would say Barbie but on steroids. Rachel Zegler is doing a great disservice to this iconic story by reducing it to men being evil. You say stupid stuff like this, and when people push back against you, you call them sexist. This is a tactic that we see commonly used. Plenty of men already do not feel welcome anymore in these modern remakes. They make up a large portion of the viewer base, and alienating them is not intelligent. Hollywood has been taking a sharp turn regarding the messages they push in recent years. They used to be criticized for being sexist against women, with many movies alienating female audiences. Now the climate has shifted with an overcorrection painting men as inherently evil. There has been a lot of recent debate about why so many men are moving to the right. On the progressive side, you are called evil for existing and being told that everything you have is undeserved or stolen. On the right, you are told you have value and will get a house, job, and wife. Is it any wonder why so many are shifting to the right? Please don't misunderstand, I believe both sides use men's issues to get votes, but one side has a stronger message. I identify as a progressive, but I sometimes listen to my fellow leftists and ask myself how you can be so intolerant towards others. They believe there are 500 genders but only 2 opinions, mine and the incorrect one. You being right means everyone else is wrong. Hollywood is front and center and pushing these ideas into their movies. I am all for allowing different groups of people their moment to shine. Previously, I have defended race swapping and sex swapping on many occasions. It does not matter as long as the story is good. I still think this, but it is disheartening to hear a lead actress have so much disdain for the story she is part of retelling. It makes you question what the point of this remake is. Surely they are not just doing this to anger people. It can't be the money either because they are losing millions on every recent remake. I believe there is a strong delusion within Hollywood and Disney. They still believe that the current direction they are in is correct. They will likely continue down this path until they are completely bankrupt. Sadly, a company as large as Disney can only fail upwards. As much as we call them out, we will be right back in cinemas to watch the next Disney movie. I do not intend to watch the Snow White movie, but I will closely watch the reactions. This movie is shaping up to be a large-scale disaster,